working relationship with established opposition political parties. Specifically, we have what is called the National Democratic Working Group. It is led by the chairman, Honorable Jobs Hala. Then we also have the Citizens Coalition for Change. We also have the MDC, the Movement for Democratic Change, and other established opposition political parties. What is your working relationship?
My name is Yotam Gini, I'm a freelance. My question is, are you a political party or a pressure group? You can specify clear education.
Is there another hand up that I can't see? All right, you may take those.
All right. I'm Ishani Sumchen, I'm a freelance journalist. So if the elections are, if they manage to push the elections to 2030, what are you going to do?
Any other question? You may respond to the questions.
Thank you so much, the Deputy Spokesperson. In 2019, we held the first conference of the Zimbabwe Communist Party. What we resolved at the conference, was the issue of dual membership. Because the Zimbabwe Communist Party is not a mass movement. We are meeting. We do have comrades, some of our members, that belong to some opposition parties that you cited. But the Zimbabwe Communist Party officially is not in alliance with any political party. But there are members that are members of ZAP as well, because we accept dual membership, members of the NDWG, members of CCC. But the party itself, we are not in an alliance with anyone. The reason being, for us to enter into an alliance with a political party, we need to understand its class character. We're engaged in class struggle. Of course, the Communist Manifesto says if workers' parties exist, as communists we cannot establish separate parties. At this stage, there is no working class party in Zimbabwe. It doesn't exist. What we are doing as the Zimbabwe Communist Party is to work together with the trade union movements, build them to be progressive. Because unions themselves, there are unions that are progressive, there are unions that are not progressive. And equally, trade unions also build the Zimbabwe Communist Party. Our membership is drawn from the trade unions. Second question, we asked whether we're a political party. Our name there says Zimbabwe Communist Party. That's what we are. We are a communist party in Zimbabwe. We are in alliance of the communist and the workers' parties, international communist and workers' parties. You have communist parties in different countries, and we are a communist party, but we are not a pressure group. We exist to contest for state power. How we contest for state power is another question, but that's why we exist as a political party. We are not a pressure group. What are we going to do if 2030 will go ahead? We might not have the power to stop the postponement of the elections. We note that there's a resolution which was passed at the ZANU PF annual conference in October. We note also, as we spoke about in the statement, the attempts to amend the Constitution. Our role is to raise class consciousness, is to raise awareness that the workers, the working class, the peasant must reject the 23rd agenda. How is this 23rd agenda being rejected? We do not want to come here and promise things that we will not do. But ours is to raise these issues as we continue to raise them, that the people of Zimbabwe, the working class and the peasant, we have a right to elect their own councillors after every 5 years, as per what the Constitution says. Thank you.
Thank you, General Secretary.
Yes, sir.
Are there any more questions from the journalists? Yes, sir.
Yes, my name is Marshall Bonner, Financial. My first question would be, I noticed that one email was this question is the Zimbabwe Communist Party gender sensitive. And my second question would be, what is your grassroots approach to conscientize the citizens about your revolutionary movement and ideology? How are you going about it? Knowing that the Zimbabwe political climate is treacherous when it comes to
Okay, the second question I will ask our chairman of the Org Bureau to respond to. Org Bureau is the organizing department in other political parties, so he leads the organizing department of the party. But before he answers, let me deal with your first question. We are a communist party that support the emancipation of women. Women must be elected in party positions, in government, in the corporate world. The nature of our politics in Zimbabwe, as ushered in by ZANU, makes it difficult for women to freely participate, because women are being intimidated, are being brutalized. We have one of our members who's a woman whom I will not identify, is somewhere inside here. But the problem is she was arrested, she's on bail, and the reason why she cannot sit in front, this might be deemed as violating her bail conditions. But we take the criticism as the Zimbabwe Communist Party that we have less women. We want to recruit more women. Maybe the challenge that we are having, which our second conference is going to look into, is whether does a communist party establish a women's because in terms of class, we are not different from women. Yes, we are different in terms of our bodies and so forth, but in terms of the struggle that we are engaged in the class struggle, we are not different. So we've noted the less participation of women, and it's a discussion that is happening inside the party, that we must consider establishing a women's league in the party, so that it becomes easier for us as a party to recruit women in the party. Thank you. Your question about grassroots support, how we organize.
Thank you, committees. Thank you, members of the media. Well, I was going to add a little bit on the gender sensitivity. As communists, we are the most gender sensitive people. He has already alluded to why we don't have a woman in front. Part of it is because some of them were caught up in some other things. They didn't attend the meeting today. We have programs on the ground to recruit, especially young intellectuals, young people, the most people who are affected by the current situation in our country. Some of us, as you look at me and the old man next to me here, we all almost gone. But we have got this challenge of saying, are we going to leave everything as it is? Are our young people, do they know what is happening? Do they understand where we're coming from and where we're supposed to go as a nation, as a continent, as a people, as society? So we have got a number of things that we're doing, but normally I'm very good at divulging everything to the media of how we recruit, how we operate. I think in his statement he raised everything, and most of the work you can contact me when we out of the press conference.
Thank you.
Any more questions from journalists? See, hand there. Any other hand? Yes, a hand there. You speak after him. Any other? All right.
My name is Ivan Charlie from 263 Regions. I just wanted to find out the significance of Mr. Traore and Mr. Putin. What does it signify?
All right.
All right. Going forward, what is your party going to do to address challenges that the populace of Zimbabwe is facing, especially when there are some policies that are probably anti-people, like the recent one that we saw of banning of teens? What is your party going to do henceforth? Are we going to see your presence in addressing issues that are the opposition seem to be ignoring now? We don't see the opposition engaging these issues to the ruling party. What is your party going to do going forward?
You may respond to those questions.
Okay. The first question, our Secretary of International Relations will respond, Comrade Ian Bidos, about the significance of this. Let me deal with the second question. We said in the Central Committee today, of course you know we held it somewhere, but I will not go into that. But we resolved that first and foremost we must develop party cadres. We must develop people or comrades that have the art of interpreting our theory to the people. I'm from Mzingwane district. I can't go there to my village and tell them that Karl Marx said this, Lenin said this. They will not understand. Yeah. So I must have the art of speaking to the issues that affect them on daily basis. And we together, collectively, we find a solution. This is why we said we want to have the party in all the districts of Zimbabwe. We work with our partners, the trade unions, progressive social formations, in the battle of ideas, in contesting ZANU-PF in the battle of ideas. Earlier on, I've already said that ZANU-PF is not revolutionary. A revolutionary party will not do the things that we are saying, that are anti-people. They talk of people-centered policies. It is one thing to express yourself in terms of policy, and another to act. And all the actions by ZANU-PF, be it Muramba Dzwina, be it what happened in 2008 after the March elections, be it Kukurawundi, which we spoke about in our statement, be it the bombing of the house of Comrade Job Sikala. All this shows you a party that is not Pan-African current. But the biggest mistake was because during the chaotic land reform program, particularly after 2000, ZANU-PF was seen by the progressive world as progressive. The MDC or the entire opposition as seen as stooges of the imperialist forces. And therefore, progressive world say, while we understand the mistakes and misgivings about ZANU-PF, they said they are better off being in solidarity with the ZANU-PF, which was seen as anti-imperialist. There was no communist party then. And we are saying, as the Zimbabwe Communist Party, we must expose ZANU-PF for what it is. And we must, at all material times, be with the people in their daily struggles. But we must develop cadres that will be able to articulate our position and be the spokespersons of it. Comrade